All right, welcome guys to another live episode. So today's episode is another special episode, but okay, guys, this is actually going to mark the anniversary of our first live in studio guest we're going to be having here today. We're going to be talking a little bit about a few things that affect your mental health, but you're going to be like, wait, how does this even relate? Once we start talking about the topic here, we're going to talk about a few things that affect your mental health. We're going to talk about a few ways you can boost your confidence, and we're also going to be talking about how this man got started in actually helping and actually changing people's lives. Dr. Martin, if you want to introduce yourself.
Yeah, hey, absolutely. Thanks, Emmanuel. It's a pleasure to be here. I like your studio.
Thank you.
Good vibe in here. It feels good. I'm Dr. Martin Avey. I am an orthodontist down in Fort Mill, South Carolina, and Emmanuel is one of my patients. Actually, just got finished with his plan, so I'm excited to be here and talk a little bit. We had a lot of really good conversations,
Yes.
As a patient of mine, and started to talk about, like you said, the ways that orthodontics can really improve your confidence, your mental health, and so many other advantages when it comes to more than just straightening people's teeth.
Absolutely. So now I'm curious. Out of all the career choices that you could pick, right? You could pick anything. You could, if you want to just come a little closer to the mic, just bring it just close. So of all the career choices that you could pick, all right, you could have been a surgeon. You could have been the next president. You could have been, you could have gone and run for, the governor of North Carolina, right? What made you choose being an orthodontist?
Yeah, it's a great question. Technically, I'm Canadian, so I could not have been president. Okay. But I've wanted to be an orthodontist for a long time. I think it was around 12 or 13 years old where I first started thinking like, hey, this is an awesome career. I like it. That coincided with when I had my braces for the first time. And I saw, not only the transformation in my life, but I saw all these other people sitting next to me in the same office and this orthodontist kind of running the show. And I thought it was just a really cool profession. So I've stuck with that. I've always liked healthcare. My dad's a physician. My mom's a physical therapist.
Gotcha.
I didn't want to go into the hospital life, basically. So I thought it was a really great mix of art and science and helping people.
Got you. So basically, it's a family tradition. Basically, you're following the tradition of the healthcare family. So okay, now I'm very curious as far as when it comes to fixing teeth, right? What's the one difference you've noticed in your patient before they came in and then after?
Typically, the biggest difference is confidence.
Okay.
Right? And you can talk about, hey, I can brush my teeth better, or this bite feels better to me now. But you see it time and time again. There's people, even if you're not that short on confidence from before, it could just take it to that next level.
Yeah.
But there's so many people that are anxious that feel like they can't show their true self or smile in public.
Yeah.
And they'll hide their smile or do things, subconsciously because they're not feeling confident in themselves. And a smile is a big deal in terms of what we can provide for that.
Gotcha. Okay. So now I was actually doing some research into this, but I want to tell you guys a story before we kind of get into the podcast. So I actually didn't used to know that I had messed up teeth. Just straight up. I'm going to tell you guys right now. I did not used to know I had messed up teeth. But I'm going to tell you guys a story. So this was back in 2013. This was back when online dating was still kind of becoming a peak and everyone was still kind of getting a little bit into it. And I can't remember what the app was, but I think it was the app called Plenty of Fish. I do not recommend it. Do not go there. I absolutely, if you look,
not Plenty of Fish.
Yeah, there is no plenty. It's Plenty of Sharks. But I do not recommend that you go there. But I remember I went on a date with this chick. I was fairly broke at the time. And we went on this date. And, I thought the day was going good. And she made this very, very sly comment. She goes, I don't like your teeth. Just randomly. Right. And then, I thought the day was going well. So I was the most confident person. But then right after she said, I don't like your teeth, I just kind of locked up. And I was like, I never knew I had messed up teeth until then. I never knew. I thought my teeth was because, all right, a little background, guys. I'm originally Nigerian. So where we grew up from, where I come from, having the cleanest, whitest teeth is not necessarily the top of your priority.
It's true. It's a very American ideal.
It's a very American thing. Everyone's like, oh, how do you know someone's American? You look at your teeth. So, so it wasn't really a thing that was a priority for me. So I remember when she said this to me after the date, I drove, but I felt so down. I felt like what was wrong with my teeth. And I kept driving. I was driving this really, really beat up Hyundai Elantra. I remember I bought that car for $1,100 and basically all the nut bolts on the wheels were missing. Okay, so it was an accident wouldn't happen. Thankfully, I was alive. But that one story stuck with me because after that, I became very, very conscious of my teeth. Very, very conscious of my teeth. Now, Doc, I want to go ahead and show you a few things here. We're gonna go ahead and Kyle, if you want to pull it up here. So, there is a TikTok that I saw. Okay, and I'm going to preface this, right? If you have messed up teeth, guys, I want you guys, how do you know if someone has messed up teeth? Okay, this is one of the telltale signs, because if you don't fix this, this might be getting into your dating life. This might actually be preventing you from actually getting a good job. You're probably thinking, what? I mean, because if you show up to a job interview and they go, so tell me a little bit about yourself, and you're like, hey, my name is I'm Martin, and then they're like, and then you're just talking and you don't want to show your teeth. It doesn't project any form of confidence, and it just shows that you actually don't know the job that you're actually doing. So, Kyle, if you want to go ahead and pull that video, and I really want to get your take on this.
Okay.
It's TikTok, so it's gonna
I believe everything I see on TikTok, so I'm excited.
Have you listen? Why don't you believe everything? It's the best place to get the news. It's gonna be the first one that says how guys that don't like the teeth laugh. That one. Yeah, that's the one. No technical setup, guys. And today, give a shout out to the I think how many people we got? 300 people. Yeah, we got 300 people live, guys. Thanks again for everyone joining me. I know this was kind of live. Okay, and then shift 7.
Let me see this.
You've seen this?
No, I haven't seen this.
Okay. So you just bring it back to us here, please. All right. So, what's your take on that? Just is that actually true?
Yeah, I mean, like it's a funny extreme, because clearly he's not wanting to show his teeth, and you have to physically try not to show your teeth when you're actually laughing like that, laughing out loud, smiling. So when you're in a group, you kind of do this laugh or do this laugh, right? And he's going like this, like I don't know if he's wearing dentures or what, but it just speaks to your point about feeling like you could be your true self around other people. The teeth have a lot to do with that.
Got you. Interesting. And guys, listen, if you have any questions for Dr. Martin, please do me a favor. Leave your in the chat. Just go ahead and write your comments in the chat, and then Kyle is going to pull up the questions. Once we basically, as the chat goes up, and then he's going to show all comments and chats will be not all of them, just reasonable ones will be shown on screen. But I have a question for you. So basically, most of the people who watch is entrepreneurs, business owners, people who basically, are overcoming some sort of challenge. They want to basically, live an impact in the world. What is, first off, why did you start your own practice rather than just joining a team that's already existing?
Yeah, so it's a good question. I've always dreamed of operating my own practice, and when you go through orthodontic school, I mean, it's a lot like going to specialty school, med school. So you do 4 years of dental school after college.
Okay.
And then for me, 3 years of orthodontic residencies just to learn how to straighten teeth. And so a lot of my colleagues, you kind of have a career choice after that. You can become an associate doctor with an existing practice. That is what I did in Charlotte. Shout out to Chad Johnson Orthodontics. So I was with Dr. Johnson for 3 years, learned a ton about how the real world operates, right? Not how you learn in school, but how to handle different situations with patients. The team, you have a team of assistants and technicians and administrative staff that work in a practice. It's more about, not just about, how do I move these teeth, but how do I motivate and inspire these people to work on the team with me to deliver awesome customer service, right? You feel that when you come into some practice.
I love it. Yeah.
So that takes a while to develop. And so I think a lot of doctors coming out, they will join an existing practice to earn their chops and see how it works.
Okay.
So that's what I did for a few years. And then I was really, I'm grateful to have this opportunity with Go Clear Orthodontics to be able to partner with a couple of guys and be able to start up this practice in Fort Mill.
Gotcha.
The way it works now is I'm the chief clinical officer of this practice. So I have full creative control and autonomy over how we do everything, whether we use a lot of Invisalign or a lot of braces, how we treat people, what kind of patients we bring in, what kind of team members we bring in. So it's been an evolution and a journey. As you gain more experience, you start to say, okay, what kind of impact do I want to leave on the world? And that's really what Go Clear is right now for me, is it's our way to positively impact people every day.
Got you. So was it always like this, where you have a team? I mean, there's April, with the country accent. I love the accent, by the way. So, Rich, just a side note. So, April is one of the she's a dental assistant. Sure, is she?
She's an orthodontic assistant.
She's an orthodontic assistant. Yeah. So she has a very, very. I love country accents. That's the one thing. When I moved to America, I was very fascinated by it. We have my 2-year-old daughter really hates brushing. Tried all possible games to convince her, but still a no for her. Any tips? We'll get to Cal. We'll get to questions a bit, but you have any questions for him?
Yeah, I can give you a quick answer on that because I have young kids, and sometimes it is a struggle. But you can do fun games, try and distract them. At the end of the day, I think younger kids, they really just want to connect with you as a parent. So
Hmm.
you showing interest in saying, "We're going to brush them together. I'm going to take a look at your teeth every single night before you go to bed. We're going to do this thing," and then it becomes a connection that they want to have, and not
Mm,
just like a chore that they have to go and do. So I
mm.
would try and doing that. Just spend as much time as possible with them. Don't feel like you're in a rush or this has to get done or else kind of thing. Just make it fun for them because they're connecting with you as the parent.
Interesting. All right. Hopefully, Tony, hopefully that helps. I would tell you this, that I wish I could pull, there's a TikTok. I wish I could pull it up, but there was a guy that didn't brush his teeth for several years. And here's the thing is, if you don't brush your teeth for several years, it starts to like have, I don't know, is it maggots and stuff that kind of like grow up in the teeth?
Maybe Nigeria. No. So bacteria all over the
Bacteria.
place, right? And it can build up and it become caked on and really hardened. So, if you don't brush teeth for a while, you may not feel like you're going to lose your teeth or anything, but
Mhm.
the damage is happening under the surface, and
Yeah.
eventually that catches up to you.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, and I would tell you this. I used to, so this is how I'll tell you how how I started brushing my teeth. So I used to be that person that never used to brush. And my sister one day, so my sister is missing her bottom tooth, like two of the tooths missing. It's like basically it's a joke, but she watches this, so I'm gonna be nice. But so she one day, so I wasn't brushing and she smelt my breath. Right, she smelled it, and she smelled it from probably 400 feet away, like that. Like my breath had a cologne. It was like Calvin Klein, all right. But she smelled it, and she looked at my teeth. She goes, Emmanuel. She called me by my name when I was a kid, and she goes, you see my teeth. So she smiled and she showed me her teeth, and she goes, if you don't brush your teeth, it's gonna look like mine. And when she said that, guess what happened? I started brushing my teeth because I was like, I don't want your teeth. But yes, I know. But shout out to my sister there. But yeah, no. So really good there. But I had another question for you there. So was it always that way where you had staff, a team of people, because there's a lot of people that start businesses. Like for instance, Kyle, he starts his entrepreneurship gig, and there's not the glamour, you know. So what was these struggles that you faced in the beginning starting?
So you're right. It hasn't always been this way. We're in year 4. We started in 2019, and it was just me and April.
Mm-hmm.
So April's the OG. You have to have a great team member to help start you out. Basically, a lot of my colleagues just go on their own. They do everything. Right. I'm picking up the phones. We're talking to all the referring doctors in the
Mm-hmm.
area, general dentists, trying to get the word out. So we do a lot of marketing and a lot of things in your downtime when you don't have as many patients.
Mm.
And then, I believe in this. If you treat people right, if you do the right kind of work,
Yeah.
give people a good feeling, good confidence, word is going to spread. And it's hard work to get it done, right? You have to invest. You have to invest in marketing, getting people to know what your story is, and figuring out what that story is for yourself. Like, what is your vision, and how do you want other people to help visualize that and bring it into your practice?
Got you. So you'd say 90% of pretty much being, in your own business is getting people to know that you are in business.
Yeah, of course. If you're trying to do business and no one knows about you, even you could be the best in the world, but you're not going to be successful.
That's true. That's true. That's the name of the game. Do you know Grant Cardone?
Yeah.
Yeah, he
Not
said
personally,
not.
but big fan.
Yeah, but he's got this saying that he says, he goes the number one thing is attention. You got to be able to get attention.
Yes.
You got to be willing to get people's attention. One of the so we started a podcast because I started realizing, I was like, you know what, if I can build a system where I already have an audience, because my girlfriend was like, you should write a book, and I was writing a book. But then I was like, who's going to buy the book? No one knows.
How many people read versus how many people watch podcasts?
Exactly, right? So we have more people that would consume a long form podcast versus sit down for 10 minutes and read a book. There was a joke that if you want to hide money from a person, just basically if you want to hide money, just put it in a book. Because most people wouldn't open a book. But what's interesting is basically he talks about getting attention, and sometimes, isn't it weird that for you to get someone's attention, you almost got to say crazy stuff. It's like, imagine if you said, here's 20 reasons why your teeth's never going to be straight.
Right. You have to do the attention grabbing.
You got to do the attention
to pull people in and have a little bit more of a discussion. So it's true. And you, in the social media age, you have to do it. Right. It's the way it works.
Got you.
Yeah.
So who runs you when you're in social media? Who runs your social media?
Me primarily.
Okay.
We do have a team that helps us out now with graphic design and posting stuff out, but especially in the beginning, it's just basically be like, hey, I would get on the phone and talk to the people,
Mm.
share what we're doing in the office. People want to, see it as basically a window to what's going on, as if you were already my patient. You could have gone on my Instagram page at Go Clear and seen what it was like to be a patient here. So the befores and afters, the results, and just, showing that we're a team of people that enjoys what we do, that we're passionate, we have a good time at the office. We don't take ourselves too seriously.
Yeah.
And if you do that and you kind of be genuine through social media, I think that's the best way. That's for like getting to the patients, right? Someone who's a mom or a dad, they're going to open up, be like, oh yeah, I might take my kid here. I might go there myself. And then in orthodontics, you have a lot of referred patients. So you go to your general dentist, you get cleanings, checkups, cavities filled, but a lot of them will not be to the level of expertise with moving teeth that we are, because I specialize in that. I don't do any of that other stuff. So we reach out to all the general dentists in our local area, and even kind of like a larger radius up into Charlotte, to say, hey, you have lots of options to send your patients to. Why would you send them to me as an orthodontist, right? What advantages do we provide? And I think, we have a pretty modern take on an orthodontic office, right? It's not just a braces factory where everyone's getting the same thing. So it's a personalized approach. It's customized, and that's the selling point for me. That's how we differentiated ourselves.
Interesting. So, just up until I started, coming to the office, I didn't know what the difference between an orthodontist and a dentist was. And I remember I was doing a checkup, and it was like orthodont. I just put like, it was like an orthopedic, and he was like, dude, what's up with you? What's ortho? And I'm like, what is? I was like, isn't it the same thing? He goes, what did you? I was like, for my teeth. He goes, oh, that's an ortho. I was like, oh, so it's not a. But then again, it's a weird key difference. So you don't necessarily specialize in the day-to-day routine of like teeth management. You basically specialize in taking people from looking like, they were on crack to basically having straight teeth.
Yeah, the most messed up grills you can think of, and even the most minor corrections you can think of, I do it all. But you're right. I limit my practice as a specialist, as if, a family doctor can do everything, but do you want that doctor doing open heart surgery? No, you want the guys doing that every single day, refining the craft, having the right team to be able to deliver that higher level care. So that's what an orthodontist does compared to a family dentist.
What's the vision?
The vision for Go Clear Orthodontics is really, for me, is to create the most positive and modern experience imaginable for my patients, right? You don't want to do it the way it was done to me when I was 12 years old, even though I loved it. Had teeth taken out, had, metal brackets, wires poking on every which way. Every time you got adjusted, it hurts, it's uncomfortable, it's hard to brush, right?
Gotcha.
And we still use braces, but braces have come a long way, whether they can be, really high-tech braces, metal braces, or invisible. Braces like Invisalign, which is what you had. So that's that vision, is to, can we use technology to make our patients' lives better and deliver a better result, maybe a faster time frame or a more pleasant experience. So that's what we want to get to.
Interesting. And Cal, any new chats from after that? My husband.
Pain smoke.
I noticed his teeth decaying. It would brush.
Yeah, that's a tough one. Obviously, it's tough to quit smoking. Everyone knows it's not good for your overall health, but dental health as well, right? Because when you smoke, all of your little blood vessels, all the capillaries in your body start to tighten up, especially around teeth. So the bacteria just has nothing to clear it out. Your immune system doesn't work right in your mouth, and you can see that decay because the bacteria is way out of balance.
Gotcha.
So brushing can prevent things, but the very best thing would be to cut back on smoking, right? If you combine those two things, you can start to make improvements, hopefully visit the dentist, get some of that decay taken away, because once it's decayed, it doesn't really stop. You have to get a filling or some way to help restore that tooth structure, and then preventatively keep it clean after that.
Gotcha. And also, FYI, guys, like he's an orthodontist, right? So this is a lot of dental questions. I'm pretty sure.
I went to dental school first. So we
can
still answer it.
Okay. All right. So if you guys have any orthodontist questions as far as your teeth, because then again, we actually and Cal, we're good with the any more questions? How do you manage patient anxiety during treatment?
Right, Tony. Patient anxiety is a big deal. Actually, a really anxious person this morning, first time meeting him, very, very timid, very challenging to talk to, let alone work on teeth or look at teeth. So, I have to try and meet people where they are. I meet a ton of different people every single day. You never know what you're going to get when you walk into the room and meet a
Mm.
new patient consultation. I didn't know I was going to meet this guy when he came into my office. So if someone can be really high energy, really happy, confident, wants to talk to you a lot, I can match that.
Gotcha.
If someone's, coming in with really soft vocals, really, nervous, you can tell they're not super thrilled to be here. You have to kind of let them know right away, hey, I'm here with you. This is a safe place, basically, right? You're not going to have anything done to you without your knowledge. You're not going to have anything that hurts, unnecessarily. So that's my key, is just kind of trying to mirror people's personalities, try and get to where they feel really comfortable. And then once you get past those initial hurdles, then, hey, I'm looking at the teeth. Eventually we might do something to the teeth, and they can help build more confidence that you're the right doctor for them, and overcome that anxiety.
Okay.
Can orthodontics help with speech problems? Absolutely, it can. That's a big hot topic in orthodontics right now, especially with younger kids.
Okay.
I'll see a lot of kids because we also have a sister practice, a pediatric dental office.
Okay.
Go Kids. It's in Fort Mill. So we'll see a lot of young kids, even with their baby teeth. They'll have speech issues, bite issues, things like that. So we'll start orthodontics as young as 5, 6, 7 years old. Sometimes my daughter's 5 and she's doing Invisalign right now, because she crosses her bite over one direction. It would cause her to slur her speech. And once that becomes a habit, the muscles start to adapt to that and becomes more permanent. So the earlier you can correct those things, the better. You can also have kids with tongue ties and lip ties and things like that, that if we release those things, they can function better. So it's not always just about making them look pretty. That's important. People need that. But the fundamental, like the development of young teeth from those ages, like 5 to 10 years old, that's really key. And it can improve speech problems for sure.
Gotcha.
Along with speech therapy and some of those other things that you need to go along with it.
Gotcha. What's the difference between
What's the difference between a dentist and an orthodontist? I think I talked about it a little bit, but you go to extra school. It's like going to med school and then specializing after that. So you go to dental school, you get your 4-year dental degree, you can go be a practicing dentist. Some people practice and then come back to orthodontic school after. I went straight through school, my 4 years in dental school, and then 3 years at West Virginia University for orthodontic program. You spend 3 years and all you do is braces and Invisalign. Just move teeth. You don't do any fillings, drillings, any of that kind of stuff. No tooth extractions. So you limit your practice, your scope of practice, and you become more of a specialist. And there's a specialty certification you take at the end. So the American Board of Orthodontics has a board certification. Once you're a board certified orthodontist, then you can call yourself an orthodontist versus a dentist.
Gotcha. Okay. All right, guys. We'll take the next round of questions after. Kyle, if you can you great questions, guys, but let's put it a little bit more focus to the 3 years that he spent, fixing and moving teeth. So Kyle, if you can pull up the one where crooked teeth makes you 38% more likely to not get a first date. Okay. So guys, I'm actually going to be giving you guys some game, and Dr. Martin here is going to be giving you some game as far as how to get a second date, but actually it should be a second date.
If your grill's not ready, you have not enough riz.
I love it. Listen, we're gonna clip that on TikTok. Can you scroll down? Go down just a little bit. More. Can you give me shift 7? Thank you. All right. Let's go to scoring a date. Oh my God, I can't. Yeah. Okay, good. So I'm gonna see here. So there's a study. The study adds a 38%. About 30% won't consider a second date. Can you zoom in with the in there, just the study right there, if you can? It's fine. It's fine. I got it. So the study adds that this is basically a 2020 test. Basically, adds that about
worse than living with your parents. That's what it says. 23% bad if you live with your parents. 38% bad if you have misaligned teeth.
If pretty much, yeah. So, but it's talking about a second date. So 30% won't consider a second date with someone with misaligned teeth. So think about this, right? And Kyle, you can bring it back to us. So basically, according to the study, it's saying that if you have a because we're going to be covering here as the podcast continues here, guys, we're going to be covering here the few things women notice. It's you as a man. They notice when they're interacting with you. Right. So your teeth is probably the most important. Hygiene, because how clean you are. The teeth, it's because you're going to be making out with this person. Just think about it. Do you want to be making out with somebody's teeth that's basically, I don't want to talk bad about any city, but Chicago. But if you don't want to be basically, just thinking about it. You want to be very nice to the person. But what do you think about that when you see, because I don't know if you've read into the studies that you're actually changing lives and you're probably even getting people's relationship and getting people married just by fixing
Yeah.
the teeth.
So I hadn't seen that study before. I think it's great. I think it's, anecdotally, you see that all the time. I mean, you told me the exact same story from 2013, right? She didn't
Yeah.
want to go on a second date because I don't like your teeth. So yeah, it's first impressions, right? Whether it's a job interview, first date, any situation where someone doesn't know a whole lot about you, they're going to make assumptions based on what they see, right? Because that's all you can do. How do you talk? How do you present yourself? But physically, your appearance, there's not a whole lot of things you can change and invest in. So good teeth means you either have great genetics, which everyone wants in a potential mate,
Sure.
or you've invested and you prioritize your money into making those teeth look great and fit together great. So either one of those, women are going to say, hey, this is someone I'd like to have a second date with. Makes total sense.
Interesting. And you just said the genetics thing. So my son, I actually recently I paid it because after I started Invisalign, I didn't know what an underbite overbite was. So underbite, how your teeth moves basically. But he actually has an underbite. And I didn't know that was a genetic thing. I thought it was just me basically being punched in the face, right?
It's all very genetic components. Yeah.
So that because I thought everybody was born with like a normal nice teeth.
It couldn't be further from the truth.
Really?
So, yeah, there's a lot that goes into it. I mean, your genetics, mother and father, and even extended family. You could have certain things like you told me your sister was missing a tooth. That runs in families. Different jaw sizes, right? Whether it's underbites because your upper jaw is too small or your lower jaw is too big, that runs in the family. So if you look at dad, grandpa, hey, do they also have underbites? That's a pretty strong sign that the kid is going to develop one. And that's one of those things, the sooner you correct that, the less time it has to solidify and stay, where the muscles are adapting to that position. So it's not just underbites too. Pretty much everything in dental can be traced back to some genetic component, and then your environment after that. So you can't control the genetics, but you can control the environment on how well you clean your teeth hygienically, how well you take care of them, invest in them, and then the alignment of the bite and the straightness. That's where I come in.
Interesting. Okay. We'll go into some questions in a bit, but I actually want to, Kyle, if you pull up the one where woman won't date a man with crooked teeth. That's a TikTok right there, and I want you guys to listen to the story because I think she kind of, it's easier for us guys to talk about it, but I want you guys to actually take a listen to this.
So ladies, if the guy you're dating doesn't show their teeth in pictures or smile showing teeth, just always like this, and doesn't like show his teeth like this, it's probably because he has jacked up teeth and doesn't want to admit it.
It's a red flag.
And who knows why his teeth are jacked up. But a guy that doesn't take care of his dental health is probably not a guy I would date because he doesn't take care of himself or have his dental hygiene as a priority. So yeah.
Okay.
Stay the fuck away from them.
I actually didn't watch the whole video, so that last line. So now I want you to let's take a listen here, and I want you to what your opinion is. So imagine if you were not an orthodontist, right? You never got into an orthodontist. You never you maybe became a lawyer or something else, right?
Sure.
And let's say you didn't fix your teeth. You had a little bit of a crooked teeth. I don't think right now it's hard for you to imagine that because you're just like
It's hard for me. So how would I approach it?
How would you approach it if you were in the world and then you have comments like that where women wouldn't have, or basically your wife, would she have like actually like, oh my God, Martin,
could I have landed my wife with crooked teeth? I don't know. And I'm just such an open person. Like I'm always be smiling, right? So
yeah.
I'm thinking about teeth a lot. I obviously made that my career. It's my passion. So it's really hard to think about a world where I didn't straighten or didn't care about them. But it would be true. I would probably, kind of hide my grill like this. I would kind of, just kind of do half smiles in pictures. And, what she's saying in that video definitely holds true. It's what we're talking about. But not everyone has that choice. Some people didn't grow up with enough money to get it done when they were younger, right? Sure. Maybe they, they always wanted it, but it's just not something they could ever prioritize. They didn't have that self-care mentality that they need to have to invest in it. So I see a lot of people who are young adults try and, get over that hump by pursuing orthodontic treatment. It's not just for those little kids and those teenagers anymore. It's like, you can get that transformation that you wish you could have had. And it's easier than it's ever been. So for me, there's no reason not to invest in your teeth.
Interesting. Okay. So is it basically, Yvonne, we'll go to the questions in a bit. We'll go to the questions in a bit. But I'm trying to bring my train of thought back here. Would you say orthodont being getting your teeth straightened, is that a rich person sport? Is that a rich person? Is this only available to basically the wealthy?
No, I mean, it used to be. I would say, back in the 80s, 90s, it was something that was seen as kind of like an exclusive thing or a privileged thing, especially in the States. But orthodontics is worldwide. I mean, there's people in Europe and Asia and all over the place pursuing orthodontic treatment. Invisalign is a global company. They have 25 million patients they've treated with doctors. So I don't think it's that way. And in some practices, it might be. Some practices, especially with Invisalign, because there's a higher lab bill with Invisalign.
Interesting.
Some doctors who use it, they will say, well, you have to pay me more upfront.
It's a higher bill?
Correct. So my cost of goods that I would sell to a patient or that I would use to treat them is higher with Invisalign than it is with braces. I make more money by using braces, but I have a higher percentage of Invisalign because I believe it gives my patients better experience, better results, lots of advantages to it. And if you work on it enough, you still can see the financial benefits too. But the point I'm trying to make is, you have financial flexibility now. There's so many ways to get financing. In our office, we do a 0% financing plan. Patients can go up to 36 months, 24 months, whatever it is. It's like if I bought a bed at Tempur-Pedic, which I did at the end of college, I had no money. It was 5 years, 0% interest. Take it home today, start sleeping on it. Of course, I'm going to do that. Why would I pay up front?
Yeah.
If you could do 0% of today's money and pay it off. And that's what orthodontics is for most practices. If you go to orthodontic specialist, you're going to have an in-house payment plan where you can say whatever that total cost is. Let's say it's $5,000-$6,000. You can spread that out over monthly payments and still be able to build that into your budget. So I have lots of patients who are not wealthy and they still feel there's value in it, or for their children to invest in that and say this is something we're going to put on here. It's like having another monthly payment, car payment, something like that. But if you value it and you think it's important, you'd be surprised how many people will say, I can afford this because it's valuable to me.
Interesting. I want to get your opinion on this. So have you seen those ads where they go, you download an app, you take a picture and it scans your teeth and then they ship stuff to you, in the mail? Does that actually work?
Short answer, no, it doesn't. Not very well. So think of something like Smile Direct Club, which is actually filed for bankruptcy this quarter.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that, but okay.
Yep.
It just got heated.
Chapter 11. But they're not the only ones. There's a lot of companies out there that are so-called direct-to-consumer aligners. So you think about, hey, all the awesome things Invisalign could do, but it's under the direction of a doctor. We're doing a lot of adjustments, a lot of fine-tuning, designing what they look like. If you take that process and strip it down of all the technology and all the care, it's really the doctor's design, right? I designed your aligners. I made them move the way I wanted them to. Exactly. With some of these, at-home scans, and then you get it in the mail, no one's overseeing that plan. Somebody, on their payroll who has a license to practice presses a button and says, yep, I'll approve that plan, and gets manufactured and gets shipped. But it's not someone who's examined you in person, who's seen your x-rays, who has an idea of what your teeth and your gum health looks like, all that kind of stuff. So to me, it's kind of a recipe for disaster, and that's what we're seeing happening with some of these companies now.
Gotcha. Because when I came in, guys, when it was like being in a, I don't know, it was like being a TSA. You get into the X-ray machine. You get in I literally bite on something, you put your hand in, and there's like the machine goes right around you and then scans you, and then you get into like it was like Area 51 stuff. But that's interesting because I for some reason, I don't know why, but for some reason on my Instagram, every time you still get this ads of take a picture and in 3 months your teeth's gonna look like this. And I always thought, I was like, how effective is that?
Yeah, I get targeted for that too. It's all about your algorithm. Everyone's got their own. If you spend a lot of time at an orthodontic office by location, you're going to get more ads for orthodontic stuff.
Interesting.
So yeah, I mean, it doesn't work great. The key to success with any kind of precision dental stuff with ortho is a custom digital scan. This iTero scanner, the wand that goes in the mouth.
Gotcha.
So you're talking about the X-ray goes all around. That's diagnostic. That shows us the bones, teeth, health of the mouth. To be able to actually capture your true anatomy of your teeth at any given point, that's that 3D video scanner. And we use that to actually design and move your teeth with computer-aided design, turn it into real life with 3D printing.
Gotcha.
And that's just kind of copycat of what these online companies are doing. They'll send you a mold that you can do at home, or they send you to their own scan center, which is just like an orthodontic office without a doctor. It's just the scanner. It's just a tech like April, or somebody like that who's trained to use the scanner, but not to do the diagnostics and the treatment planning that it takes to change some really, messed up grills.
Interesting.
You can do minor stuff with that at-home stuff, but it's riskier. It's not as predictable.
Gotcha. I have a question. Kyle, can you do me a favor? Can you go on Google? Can you Google images of crooked teeth? Okay, we're gonna play this a rapid fire question here, but not yet. But just images of crooked teeth. Just I want you to find the most crooked teeth you can find. What I mean crooked, I want you to find basically, like Jesus didn't. Jesus take the wheel kind of teeth. That's so. And we're gonna play rapid fire question. But before we get there, the rapid fire is gonna be, just looking at a patient, have the sample of what Kyle pulls up. I want you to tell me how long do you think with Invisalign it'll take to fix it.
Ooh, okay.
All right. So that would be the rapid fire. Okay. So Kyle's gone. Okay. So first one to the left.
First one.
You don't have to click on it, but the first one, yeah.
Yeah. The thing with Google is you're going to get a lot of people that also probably need some dental work too, maybe some extractions or some other things. But that one's probably about 1.5 years.
Okay. Second one.
Next one, that looks like a younger person. That's a teenager. So I'd say closer to 2 years.
Why longer?
So with teenagers, you have to account for growth, wisdom teeth, second molars coming in. Their teeth do move better, right? The biology is quicker when it comes to moving teeth, but there's more factors, like more variables to consider with growing patients.
Got you. Okay, so we have that one. You see the one that looks like Dracula from the left, number 2, row 2.
Yeah, that's probably another 1.5 to 2 year plan.
But is that normal though? Like you see, like it looks like the vampire. It's like no.
Yeah. So you guys can see it on the screen, right? So it's basically super blocked out canines. There's no room for those canines to fit. So when it comes to severe crowding like that, you have a couple options. You can take out teeth. That's actually what I had done. I had 4 teeth taken out behind the canines. You drop them into that space, and relatively straightforward.
Is that surgery?
Not surgery. No, just regular tooth extraction with your dentist. So we refer back to the dentist. We say, hey, this is our plan. We'd like to remove certain teeth to create space for other ones. But that's pretty uncommon these days. Maybe like less than 10% of my patients get extractions. Mostly we can make room for those teeth by expanding, by creating space in between the teeth, lots of different mechanisms for how to uncrowd teeth. But we try and keep all the natural healthy teeth whenever possible.
Yeah, which is we're going to continue, but which isn't a bit. The other day, maybe a month ago, I saw, I actually reserve the right to comment on messed up teeth because I used to have messed up teeth. And by the end of this podcast, guys, I'm going to show you guys what my teeth used to look like. But there was a guy, he was smiling. So he was like talking, he was smiling. And I was like, and I saw that come like that. And I never used to notice it. It's like, and then for some reason I saw it and I was like, but you can't say anything. You just got to like, wow. But then in my head, I'm like, oh my God. But he's like, hey, apparently no one ever told him, like he never had that first date experience like I did that said, I don't like your teeth. Oh, but the third one right there with the missing gap. What do you think?
Which one? That too?
Yeah, the one right next to the vampire teeth.
Yeah. So that actually, you can't see the bite in this picture, but it doesn't look that hard.
Gotcha.
It looks dramatic because all the teeth are in different directions. But if you line them up, if you change the angle, improve the vertical height of some of these teeth, that one's probably 1 year or less.
Gotcha. I have a question for you. Maybe, Cal, can you bring it up to me? That's pretty much for the rapid fire. Can you bring, I'm thinking right now, young Martin, right, in college, you're in college, you're like studying, you're like, oh my God, it's all these books I got to read, I got to fix teeth and all that stuff. And then you come across this girl that, obviously married now. So obviously, hopefully your wife doesn't watch this and try to kill me. But you come across this girl, she's like, oh my God, she's beautiful. But then, you see her smile and you're like, oh my God. But then
she's a 10, but
her teeth, right? Well, we're not gonna get to that because we don't want the cancer mafia to come after us there. But would you go and say, you know what, as a first date, I'll fix your teeth?
Ooh, like first impression.
Yeah, you'd be like, hey, listen.
Yeah. Hey, I'm studying to be an orthodontist, right? Yeah. So, we should hang out more. I can probably help you in the future, something like that. But it's funny because you mentioned my wife. I've been married since the start of dental school.
Really? So
I was dating her in college. Like we were.
Was her teeth okay?
So straightness wise, yes, but she had some jaw issues that she had to fix. She actually ended up having braces and jaw surgery. This was before I was practicing.
Okay.
So, but I was involved in it.
I have another question for you. Yeah. Would you charge her for the send her a bill if you had to fix the teeth and it was your wife?
Yes.
Thank you.
Got to recoup your costs at least.
Oh God, I love it. But no. But back to the there's no, family needs to be your number one supporter. So which means you got to charge them full price.
There's no family discount.
Which, by the way, is there a family discount? Just if someone brings family.
In my practice, yes, there
In
is.
your practice.
All jokes aside, when someone brings like their second child or third child or husband or something like that,
Yeah.
Or mom wants to get started with their treatment, we take care of them.
Gotcha. And any more questions? I know we had I know it's some.
Well, good ones in the chat. Let's see.
What are the risk if we delay the treatment?
Yeah, Yvonne says ortho treatment is very expensive. Is there some risk to delaying it? Well, relatively speaking, right? No one's ever died from having crooked teeth, but some of the other things we're talking about, like your opportunities, your ability to, be confident out in the world, those are psychosocial things that can happen. That's a risk. Now, the risk of not doing anything about a bad bite, it can start to spiral on you. Like, it's an ongoing process. I try and use this with my patients. We don't say you have chipped teeth or receded gums, like past tense, is active, right? You are chipping your teeth every day. You are causing your gums to continue to recede from having, a poor bite. Let's say it's a crossed over bite. You got one tooth out in front. You had one similar to that, right? It's like, if you leave that bite, you risk more damage to that tooth or multiple teeth. So it can get worse over time. It is something that if you're proactive with it, it can be better.
Gotcha. I forgot another one.
All right. Christy says, how can you possibly politely answer a question? Are my teeth okay? You know they're not. Okay. So if someone's asking you if their teeth are okay, it depends on your relationship with them, I guess, right? I mean, you're going to be super honest and blunt with them, or you're going to get the polite answer. So you could just say, do you want the real answer or do you want the polite answer?
Yeah.
I try to use that sometimes. So if they say I want the real answer, you just say, well, there's probably some things that you could look at. I mean, have you talked to a dentist? Have you talked to an orthodontist? They might be able to help you figure that out because I can't. But if somebody asks me, usually it's the other way around, right? They'll see the shirt or they'll say something about their teeth and I'll be like, hey, actually, I'm an orthodontist, and it is an awkward thing. If you see someone who clearly needs my services and you're at the drive-thru picking up or something like that, you don't just be like, hey, you need to come see me. Your teeth are really messed up.
But then again, wouldn't that help though? Because then again, I'm thinking about it from the perspective of the lady that told me, the girl, wherever she is right now, she's probably good because this is 10 years now. She's saying that I don't like your teeth because first what they say, the first key to solving a problem is first realizing there's a problem.
Right. But then you didn't come to see me for like 8 years after that. So sometimes life gets in the way. It's not always a priority for people. I get it. So yeah, I mean, for me, I don't ever feel bad about letting someone know what I can do or what I might see with their teeth, right? Because I'm in that profession. But for your average run-of-the-mill person you're coming across, just be polite with them or be real with them, whichever they prefer.
Gotcha.
That's how I'll go with it. Oh, we got another question. If she's pregnant, what are the best practices for dental care? That's actually a good question. So pregnancy can do a number on your teeth.
How?
So it's interesting. There's a couple of things that happen when you're pregnant. All the hormones in your body are all made to loosen up ligaments for childbirth, but also ligaments that hold teeth in place, ligaments in your jaw muscles. So people can have more like TMJ dysfunction issues, clicking or popping in their jaw. You can get more gum swelling. You can get more tooth movement, right? I have a lot of moms that come see me after they've had a few kids. Oh, I had braces. My teeth used to be so straight. Even if I wear my retainer, they're shifting. They're moving a lot. That's kind of a known side effect after having kids. But during pregnancy is when all those hormones are at their highest. And the most common thing is gum swelling, like gingivitis. So just being really, really OCD about cleaning your teeth super well while you're pregnant. Don't skip nights, make sure you're flossing, get it all cleaned, and visit the dentist regularly to be able to get that professional cleaning. That's the best tips I would give while you're pregnant.
Is it important dental x-rays taken?
Yeah. Is it important to take x-rays? If you're going to move teeth, 100%. Yes. Because you never know what's going on the surface. I've seen all kinds of crazy things after we take that panoramic x-ray. People have missing teeth that they didn't know about, an extra tooth. some kind of growth. I had to send a teenage boy over to like an oral surgeon to check on a cyst. So there's a lot of things that could be happening under the surface. And that's one of the things that Smile Direct Club, for instance, they don't do it. Right? If you get a at-home scan box or an impression, no one has a clue what's happening with your x-rays and your bone under the surface. So you want to be able to make sure people are like disease-free, that they have healthy bone, healthy gums. It's like the soil that your teeth live in. So you can't move teeth through that soil unless it's healthy.
Yeah.
X-rays are key.
Any more questions? Okay. I've got a question for you. Do orthodontists make good money?
More than general dentists on average. Yeah, for sure. It's
one
of the higher paid specialties along with oral surgeons and stuff like that.
Wow. So it's like sugar daddy money. Because
I
I'm
mean,
thinking about doing it.
You got 11 years. No, the funny thing about making money is, especially in orthodontics, you go to school for a long time.
Sure.
I didn't start working for a paycheck until I was 29 years old. So I went all the way straight through school from age 18 to 29. I was in
Did you buy this?
college.
I got a question. So there's a thing where like doctors, when because it takes you a long time before you start working. So the first thing they do is buy a sports car. Did you buy a sports car?
No, I have a minivan.
Oh yeah,
I got a pickup truck now, but we got kids. So the point I'm getting to is you get student loans, right?
True.
And it's not just for 1 or 2 years of undergrad; it's for maybe 10 plus years of school. And if you go to dental school, it's very expensive. So we're talking about $500,000 or more in student loans before you start seeing any kind of actual take home. Like you're taking home, you're making some money, but you're constantly paying off those loans as a part of that. So it is something you invest in and then you see it pay back off later.
But looking back, was it worth it?
100%.
It was
Easily, yes.
So would you? If there's a young Martin watching this right now and he's like, you know what, I love teeth. I want to fix teeth. It's got the best teeth out there. Would you? And he's thinking of, or she's thinking of being an orthodontist. Would you actually say, dude? What's your advice?
Young people, it's the best profession you could possibly do. Okay. It's a good mix of entrepreneurship, it's science, it's art. You're helping people every single day. It's never boring. But you got to get good grades. You got to like science. You got to be able to get through school. I studied biology for 4 years in undergrad, then dental school. Then to be able to get from dental school, it's only the top 5 or 10% that can go to ortho school based on your grades in dental school and your class rank and stuff like that. So to pursue it, the ones that I know, every single orthodontist that I know, kind, personable, incredibly smart, always out to help people and improve themselves and get better and build a great business. So it's an awesome profession. It's worldwide. I couldn't imagine myself doing anything else.
Gotcha. Okay, guys. So as we're basically coming to the end of the podcast, any final thoughts? We do have a question.
Yeah, more questions. Okay.
Courtney.
What is a common pain for a
Oh,
pregnant?
it's not a question. It's just a response.
Oh, that's a common pain. I got you.
Yeah.
How often should I replace my toothbrush? Most
people have a lot of
people want to know.
Apparently, there's a lot of brush and teeth problems.
Now, admittedly, I'm not the best at this. Okay, I will make one last longer than I should, but the correct answer is 3 months. Okay.
Okay.
That's the kind of the recommended interval, but it's really when those bristles start getting a little tangly, a little bit, not looking straight like they came out of the box from the store. And you don't want to overbrush, right? People put a lot of like elbow grease into your toothbrush. Just a light kind of, wrist movements is good. And then you won't wear out your brush as fast. But after 3 or 4 months, the bristles start losing their, what's the right word? Their integrity.
Yeah.
And you can start to get bacteria and stuff like that building up on it. So it's best to change them out a few times a year, quarterly.
Gotcha.
If you're entrepreneurs out there, quarterly.
Okay, every quarter. You remember this Q1 toothbrush, Q2, Q3, and Q4.
Yeah, buy a 4-pack.
So there's one thing I want to cover, and then guys, I'm going to show you guys a picture of the before and after of my teeth, and that's the reason why I'm like Dr. Martin should come on, because I think you underestimate the power of a smile. Like I've made more money just smiling. I actually got a compliment the other day from this one girl. This was 3 weeks ago. I was in it's one of those weird airports, small in the Midwest, and no one talks about it, but it's a great airport, obviously. But she's like, I really love your teeth. Like, you have really beautiful teeth. And I said, because I paid for them. But
It's come full circle, right? From 2013 to now.
it's-
Now you're getting the compliments.
now I'm getting the positive compliments, and which is a very interesting comment, because you smile, and then for some reason you smile, people smile at you. Like the other day, I was at the airport and my girlfriend's watching it, so this is she's and I was just smiling. I was smiling just randomly. So I was in a good mood. I was smiling, and just across the airport, there was this girl. She saw, and she, for some reason, she thought I was like hitting on her. She just started smiling and giving me the look, and I was like, no. So I was like, lady, no. I ain't trying to get murdered by a French woman. No. But I have a question for you, because most people, you get your teeth fixed, but it actually reverts back if you don't do.
Oh yeah, it's a good point. So is orthodontics a permanent fix? No, never.
Okay.
Okay, orthodontics is like intense physical therapy, right? We can get a really amazing result, but teeth have a genetic muscle memory. They want to go back to where they started, or the forces that cause them to move that way in the first place. Maybe really tight cheeks, everything crowds and pushes in. Maybe a really strong tongue, everything flares and spaces out. Those forces in the muscles don't go away, right? Once you stop using braces or using Invisalign full time, what we do is we use retainers, which is something you got to wear at nighttime. Retainers, I tell my patients, it's like pajamas for your teeth. Okay. Let me put it to you this way. If I was your personal trainer and I gave you a 18-month plan, I said you're going to be in the best shape of your life. You have a 6-pack. Everyone's going to love it. People will notice in the airport.
Yeah.
And you never have to do another sit-up again. But every night I want you to put on this tank top and you will maintain the 6-pack. Would you wear the tank top?
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Wear your retainers.
So the retainer is a 6-pack. It's basically your 6-pack. Which,
if you want to keep the 6-pack, you got to sleep in the tooth pajamas.
I love it. I love it. Okay, Kyle, if you want to, just go to document and pull the image. So guys, before I show this, first off, before Kyle pulls this up, I want to make a general statement. This is a public service announcement. If you knew me before my teeth was messed up and never told me that my teeth was messed up, we're not friends anymore. Because first off, you just let me walk out in the wild like that. It's like me basically going out without wearing my, without the 6-pack, and Dr. Martin had to fix the 6-pack. So Kyle, if you want to just go ahead and pull that up, and I want you guys to actually take a listen to the, actually look at this. See. So that picture right there to the left was what my teeth used to look like. I don't know if you could see. Obviously.
Oh yeah. I remember the pic.
So, and then it's still the same person, guys. It's still, and ladies, just sorry about that. I'm taking them off the market. So, just kind of calm down there. But, that was how bad it was. And I'll give you a story. So in the left side, so I started out selling insurance a while back. And one of my clients, and they actually live like pretty close to me. I usually, same way the client, everyone who comes in, you take a picture with them. So I was taking a picture with them, and we had this group chat where I had to speak in front of 700 people. And I took that picture and, I posted in the group chat. So just imagine there's 700 people looking at it. And the first thing, because after I posted it, the first thing I realized, because I was so happy afterwards, I looked at it, I was like, wait, there's 700 people who's going to look at that tape. So,
then your mind went back to that girl in 20.
Yeah, and then now I am scarred for life. That girl scarred me for life. But it's a good thing that I would say it's actually a good thing that she did. But just wanted to show you guys before and after, and you can see just like extremely handsome on the right, like gorgeous. Look at that man, like, oh my God. But Kyle, that's it. I'm in love with myself there. So, but Dr. Martin, it's been a pleasure having you on. And any more questions, Kyle, before we wrap up? No, okay.
Answered them all. We
answered them all, and apparently everybody has two teeth, brushing your teeth problems. Listen, guys, I'm gonna say this: if you see the picture that I just pulled up. If you don't brush your teeth's gonna look exactly like the picture on the left. So, brush your teeth, Dr. Martin. It was an absolute pleasure, and definitely, where can people find you if they wanna work?
Oh yeah, sure. So we're pretty active on social media. If you check us out on Instagram, Facebook, we're Go Clear Orthodontics. And you can also go to goclearortho.com and see what we're all about. But if you're local, I'd love to help you out.
And you guys located in North Carolina. So if you guys are in North Carolina, if you're in North Carolina, I 100%, I would personally recommend, and you guys see the before and after, 100% recommend that you come work with my man, Dr. Martin. And he's, there's a, special hookup, he's got the special stuff. He's going to take care of you. And what about if someone is not in local? Do you do like consults on the?
So I actually do. I'm glad you brought that up. I have a lot of patients who are remote for one reason or another. People who have jobs overseas, who they're away at school, college kids, military. So the beautiful thing about doing Invisalign the way we do it, is you don't have to come into the office every month or two for an adjustment.
Okay.
Right? You came maybe every 3 or 4 months if you're local. I have some patients who come in every 6 months, 8 months, once a year, because everything we're doing is predetermined. It's computer planned out. You get all your aligners, you wear them, and then we can track things virtually. So you use the virtual monitoring with Invisalign. There's an app. You could send in pictures to the actual orthodontist, not to some other company.
Yeah.
We can let you know if it's tracking well. It's got some AI built in there. So I have a lot of patients who only visit me once or twice a year and can still get those great results because their schedule or their travel, it just doesn't allow for traditional orthodontics.
Cool. Awesome. Well, guys, it was a pleasure having you on. As I always say, don't forget, please, to if you're watching this on Spotify, which means you didn't catch it live, you're watching this on Spotify, hit the follow button, and the links are going to be in the description to work with Dr. Martin, and also follow him on social. If you're on YouTube, like the video, subscribe to the channel. Like, what are you doing with your life? Smash that. Like, exactly. So say it again, please. Just so they
smash the subscribe.
Thank you.
You know you want to.
Exactly. Smash and subscribe. And also, if you're on, all the other social media, you know what to do. And Kyle, thank you. You do the honors.